I'm old enough now where, I was the Hunjung when these kids were in.
Appreciate you guys do this for the younger Hunjung, like giving a lot of good information for them.
I wasn't really a good DE student back then. I would say I repeated Ngesika Mo 3 times.
Even as Donjung, I'm learning to see how people work and adapt to that.
Before every shift, I always pray to God that He will help me to take the best care of my patients.
Yeah.
And then at the end of every shift, I thank Him too for letting me be able to provide that care.
Hi, welcome to the HT Show podcast. My name is Jung Bin. This is Jung Jin, and today we have Jung Công and
Hope.
Baby Hope. First time we have a baby on the show now.
Yes.
Let's.
We actually have some hope on the show for the show now, right?
This guy's open. I know Công already opened this. That's okay.
Oh my goodness! Sorry.
My bad.
Party
Cheers,
foul. Party
cheers.
foul.
So Công, we've known each other for quite a bit, and we were talking about how we know each other, and we don't know how we know each other.
It's been too long.
It has to be from Tunyi though. Our Don used to go camping with each other a long time ago. It's been, we did that for a few years. And then afterwards, I think we got to know each other more during those Hunjung camps when we started working together, right? And actually, at my old house, Công was the one who actually helped me design and build my backyard. He did a lot of the landscaping, a lot of it.
He helped build it too?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
And the fact that I lived at your house for like 3 months.
Yeah, it was during COVID, right?
Yeah, it was like 2-3 months I lived there.
So that was your payment, right? You pay him.
Yeah, legitimately, actually, yeah.
I bet this guy. I bought him a power tool set because that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
That was his payment.
Wow.
It was mostly just boredom.
Yeah.
It was just like,
It was the
it's
beginning of
COVID,
so-
but I'm bored, I don't come over.
Yeah.
We gotta
and
do
then just
something.
lived at his house
Right.
for like
Yeah.
3 months.
And then six months later, I sold that house. So all that work.
Yeah. No, you probably,
helped.
you owe
It
him
helped.
money.
Yes.
You owe him money because he saw a higher price because of
I
you.
probably did.
So you knew each other for
Yeah.
a very long time in Tunyi. So
Yeah.
you've been in Tunyi for a while too, I assume,
Yeah.
right? So did you start out as an Onyi or?
I started out from day one at Severikan, should be 2005, I don't remember exactly, 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
I started out as Kap Ba for Aonyi because that was the age I was at when I started.
Yeah.
Then I was in Tunyi ever since. Just took a 1-year hiatus last year.
Right.
And so, because of this one.
Because of hope.
So, yeah, I mean, been in Tunyi for, it had to be
Too many years.
years, a lot of years.
You can't map it.
Yeah, a lot of years,
tough.
yeah.
So which gang did you enjoy being in as a student?
Oh, it had to be Hip C for sure. I would say Hip C was the best for me because that was when we had the best Hip C events that really transformed like what Tunyi was for me. That was when we did the first Daihoi Hip C, and that was a big milestone. And yeah, that's when you really got close to people. So I would say somewhere between year C and Hip C, but Hip C was definitely my best years.
That's when you developed the friendship.
Yeah, that's when you had the best events for sure, and were around the best group of people. Yeah.
Is that how you feel when you became a Huichung too? Like, was teaching Hip C like coming home for you, or was teaching a different gang?
Or do you, at the time, when you became a Hunjung, did you teach Hipsei at all? Or
So in the beginning of my Hunjung years, I was teaching Aonyi, and then towards the later half of my Hunjung years, I was mostly doing Hipsi. So I started off with the younger kids, which I recommend most people do.
Makes sense.
Like
right?
when new Hunjungs come in, they should really be teaching Aonyi and Tunyi.
Sure.
Anytime I see a fresh Hunjung teaching Hipsi, I'm like, that don't make sense. And it never does. So I think it makes sense to like start off with young kids. Then once you get into the older kids, you can relate to them more. Now I enjoy the Hipsi more because I can relate to them more. I can, interact with them at a much higher level.
Right.
But Aoni is kind of basic. Hipsi, you can get into more advanced stuff. So I enjoy it more now.
you know what? I remember now. I think also when I was in Lindon or Mien back at the time, you were my Uvin Gritot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was also another.
Probably. Honestly, we probably started getting close once we started working together in
Right.
all the me and Dieback. It was really me and Dieback.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Dieback events.
Yeah.
And then we started doing a bunch of the attending a bunch of events
Yeah,
together. And
yeah.
that was really when it's like, oh yeah.
Forced friendship, right?
I'm not you. There's other people in back you to it now. We never talk to again.
That's true too.
The COVID probably brought
Right.
you guys even closer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
together.
If you guys' house, yeah.
Definitely.
And what about your schooling, your profession?
Yeah.
Like, what did you were obviously, you went to college to be a,
Civil engineer. So basically, my entire K to 12, it was very mainly focused with math and science, like most engineers.
Yep.
I got into engineering pretty early, like 9th grade is when I decided. Yep.
you knew already,
Yeah.
huh?
Once 9th grade hit, I took an engineering class. I'm like, yeah, this is for sure is for me. It was pretty easy from there. The University of Washington, Seattle, graduated in 2015. And then did 3 years of land surveying, 5 years of private civil engineering, 2 years of public civil engineering, and then now I'm an engineer salesman. So now I sell product to engineers, and I work on commission now.
Can you go back a little bit and can you tell us the difference between private and public?
Yeah,
engineering
so
firms, or?
private engineering. Should I get the camera? Private engineering is basically when you're working for a private company. So you're building homes, you're designing homes, roads, parking lots for specific clients to build like a single family home or a business. When I worked for the city, I worked for the city of Des Moines, Washington. And with them, it was managing all of the public infrastructure, the public projects, basically designing projects specifically for the government. And also reviewing all the stuff that came in from the private. So if I was a private engineer and I submitted a set of plans, then I'd be looking at it to make sure that I would approve it.
Yeah.
So I worked both ends.
Gotcha. So it was a really smooth transition for you to go from public to private then, because you kind of saw private while you were doing public because you were looking through all of their submission and things like that.
Yeah, so working for the government is way easier. And that's honestly with everything. That's not just engineering. That's in any industry.
Yeah.
Working for the government or the public sector is easier.
Yeah.
It's slower. It's much less intensive compared to private. Private, it's all money, money, money.
Yeah.
Public is
Productivity, getting it out, right?
Productivity level of government is like so
That's why things are so slow.
Yeah.
Costs and triple
They're what I learned in the government is you're not incentivized to work faster. You're actually de-incentivized to work faster. Because the faster you finish your work, the more they're gonna give you.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas in the private industry, they want you to work as much as possible. So they push you.
Right.
Yeah.
But the government, they don't push you.
Yeah.
I can see
They
that.
give you way more time than you possibly need to finish work. Because they can.
Gotcha.
So no one's incentivized to work fast in the government.
What's the difference? You mentioned about designing homes, like for example, single family homes.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a civil engineer and architect for that purpose?
So a civil engineer will basically do a lot of the land development. So we'll deal with like stormwater, sewer, water, grading, it's kind of like the utility stuff. And architecture will mainly just focus on the interior or the structure. So imagine like this home here.
Right.
An architect would do the exterior and interior design, but then I would do everything below the house. So I would do the grading for the house, all the water that comes in, the sewer that comes out, making sure all the storm drainage leaves the site.
Yeah.
So I do everything before the house gets built.
Gotcha.
So I basically do everything up to a concrete pad, and then someone else takes it from there.
That's funny. You mentioned you did land surveying.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
That
what
was the first thing you
I feel like
did,
that's what
right?
I should have done as a geography major. That's part of it.
I did that for a couple
But I
of
didn't
years.
go that route.
That would have made sense,
Yeah.
but no, okay.
So
But you did
Things worked out for you.
So if anyone's wondering what a geography major could possibly do,
Yeah,
that's one.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
So you did I just want to triple check my understanding, because you did 3 years of land surveying for the city, right? So that just means I'm guessing you would go and you see some people normally see this when they drive by a person with like a big yellow measurement thing and they're just measuring the borders. So why does the city want to measure borders of things? I just want to.
So basically, as a land surveyor, your job is mainly to tell people where their property is. So, you know, when you're building a fence, which is the most common like small project, you have to know exactly where your property is.
Gotcha.
People might think they know where their property is because of like existing features. 90% of the time they're wrong. They could be like 10, 20, 30 feet off.
Oh,
So if you build your fence, you know, in the wrong spot, you either
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
Is it too loud?
No, it's not loud.
It's fine.
It's definitely not loud. I cry more on this podcast than Hope is, so you have no worries.
It's fine.
Yeah, so a land surveyor basically tells you where your property starts and ends. And that's very important in, you know, construction.
Yeah.
So it's mainly what they do.
Yeah, so I remember one of my friends, her and her neighbor, they had a property line. There was no fence up, but as soon as my friends wanted to plant some plants, but then the neighbors didn't like it, they started having a dispute about it.
Gotcha.
And then eventually they were like, hey, put up a fence. And so my friend put up a fence, and they claimed that my friend said, hey, this is the property line, and then the other side wasn't.
You put a fence without a survey?
Yeah. No, they did. Just to resolve the dispute.
Yeah.
So you will always there will be no such thing as a private land surveyor, right? It will always be public, right? Like someone that works for the government. Is that my understanding correct?
So land surveyors mostly work private. So they mostly work in the private industry for like civil disputes and stuff like that.
We're gonna listen on how to take care of a baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need this.
So what made you transition from land surveying into doing something different? Because then I think it seems like you moved to like a desk job after that. Is that what it seems like? You weren't out in the you weren't out there with the big yellow thing as much.
Yeah, so I never wanted to be in land surveying. I only did it after my.
No, keep going. We can always cut it out.
It's fine.
I am 100%.
She's right there.
This is good content. We might keep this part in too.
Okay.
No, this is good as long as you're fine with it.
I don't care.
Fine with it. No,
It's too loud.
This is really good
good.
content. Trust me.
Sure. Okay.
Trust me.
So yeah, I did land surveying after college because I couldn't get an engineering job because all the places I interviewed for said I needed experience. And so I did land surveying for a bit. I ended up being 3 years. But then I always wanted to go back into engineering because that's what I enjoyed more. And you make like twice as much money. So, I mean.
So there was a time when you didn't do engineering anymore and you were helping your wife with a business. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so basically she went to school for early childhood education. And then she worked at a daycare in Northgate. There's no way she's not too loud.
You're here. Bring this.
Yeah.
There you go.
They found a new daddy. You're good.
It's a good thing you haven't had her.
This is why people don't interview with babies.
She's right there. Yeah, you want to? Yeah, just back. Yeah. I think we're fine with it, but I feel like you're getting distracted.
Give her back to her mom.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Because we can keep talking forever. There's two of us, but if you're distracted, then we feel bad. We feel bad for you.
I feel like it's yapping.
Hey, Teresa?
No, it sounds
Is
good.
it sensitive?
Yeah, it's sensitive enough to pick it, but we really don't. We honestly don't care about views, and we
you
just
take
do
the
this
kid.
for fun.
Yeah, she's
So
like messing around.
it doesn't
too
really
much.
matter what happens. So we just
There you go.
post it.
Thank you.
Because we know like
Juice-
this is not going to make any money.
Probably
this is
not.
like a long-term
Probably not.
hobby kind of thing. So once it becomes like about like trying to get more views, then it's not fun for us anymore. So we kind of just do anything we want.
What did she say?
Bring the second child in.
No, you know what I realized?
did
I
she say?
didn't mute myself when I was going to talk to her.
What did you say?
I was like, hey, can you take the child or something? And she was asking about juice. I was like, oh, let me look.
Okay, it's fine. So let's pick back up. Just so you know, if you see that the baby is gone, that means we edit out the baby. Just FYI.
Just green screen on it.
Yeah. The baby's still behind the green screen, right? That's great. Yeah. So you went from land surveying was just something to get your foot in the door, is what it seems like. And then that allowed you to get work experience to become doing the engineering stuff that you wanted.
Yeah, so I'll start over. So basically, Teresa studied early child education at Seattle Pacific University. And then she did a couple of years at Daycare in Northgate, tried all the way up to basically almost director. And then she always wanted to do something else, and she wanted to open her own place. So we opened our own private daycare in Renton called Little Seedlings Preschool. We did that for 4 years, but she wasn't making much money. She was only making like 40 grand a year or something like that.
Did you quit your job?
No, at that time it was all her. This is all her side.
Okay.
But by that point, we were already like getting engaged, going through the process. And so we knew pretty early on that, we would end up together. So
Gotcha.
I helped her open her own daycare in Renton. That was small. That was only like 10 kids at a time. She was by herself, so no staff. The school itself was like 800 square feet. And then after that, COVID happened.
Yeah.
So after that, COVID happened, and then we were required to shut down, obviously. Even though we technically...
Is this time you were married already, or you were still just dating?
We were still dating. Engaged. Yeah.
So you
We were
kind of
still
knew
engaged.
this is
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah. We weren't married yet. We were still engaged. And then COVID happened. We were legally allowed to stay open, but nobody wanted to send their kids.
Yeah. They didn't know what was going to happen.
So no one wanted to send the kids. So we closed. And then after COVID kind of ended, we had two choices.
Yeah.
We could we had a lot of choices.
I like that.
She
Choices is
could reopen as is and just bring it back up, same place, same kids, whatever, right? She could close it down and do something completely different, like completely right turn, not in childcare at all.
With the building?
No,
or
new
just
space.
So just a completely new thing.
Close it, do a new thing.
Yeah.
Or we could reopen at a new place. So the problem with our old place was it didn't have fire sprinklers, and it didn't meet the code required to be licensed at a daycare. So there's such a thing as licensed and unlicensed childcare.
Wow. Okay.
Unlicensed childcare, they don't have to follow state code.
Yeah.
But you're only allowed to have kids for up to 4 hours a day.
Okay.
And there's a lot more
small
limitations.
amount of kids
there's
too?
a lot more
Okay.
small amounts, so you can't grow. It's very limited.
Yeah. But it's probably a good way to get into.
You can get started that way. On the flip side, a licensed daycare, you have to follow every single state code. It's like a 100-page book.
Yeah.
But you can have as many kids as you want. You can really grow in that.
Yeah.
So we always wanted to be licensed, but we couldn't be licensed in that space because it didn't have a lot of stuff we needed.
Yeah.
And so if we go to a new place, we can be licensed.
Right.
And I was like, well, if we go to a new place, why don't we look into franchises? So one of my friends he was looking into Mathnasium.
Yeah.
So he was looking into open a Mathnasium franchise, and that got me looking into franchising.
Yeah.
And then I realized, there's a franchise for daycare. And so I called like every single childcare franchise in the nation. There's like 100 of them.
Yeah.
And then we narrowed down the list to the one we ended up going with. It was mostly based on money because most childcare franchises were asking for like $5-8 million.
Wow.
Cash.
Wow.
Like, have you ever heard of like KinderCare? They require you to open basically a brand new building.
Yeah.
Right. So most of that cost is construction. But
because the buildings are pretty nice.
And some of these buildings can be like $5 million plus.
Is the franchising fee, you say, is part of it?
of the construction?
So when you buy a franchise,
Sure.
they don't give you anything. People think that when you buy a franchise, then you get stuff from them. The only thing you get from a franchise when
naming.
you buy it are the knowledge. So when you buy a McDonald's, McDonald's doesn't give you anything. McDonald's just say, here's the guidebook on how to open a McDonald's. And then you go out and do it. So
And they'll support you if you need it.
they support you and they tell you like, this is how you find a location.
Yeah.
This is how you get customers. This is
Yeah.
where you buy your food. This
Yeah.
is where you buy this.
Yeah.
Most franchises will have requirements on what you can buy from where. So like McDonald's, they make you buy their hamburgers, obviously.
Yeah.
For my franchise, they made us buy a certain brand of tables,
Yeah.
a certain brand of chairs,
Yeah.
a certain brand of play equipment.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what they required us because it's
Gotcha.
childcare. But that's how they make sure that every franchise location is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So if you walk into our location and every other location, they all look the same because we all buy from the same place.
Why did you pick a franchise? It seems like Teresa, she was a director of a daycare, right? So I assume her knowledge base, she's not like a random person that just came by and say, I want to open a daycare.
Yeah.
You know, start out with a small 10 or less.
Right.
She knew exactly what she was doing. Why did you guys decide to go with a franchise when she has such a good knowledge base already?
That's a great
what's it-
question. Yeah. So basically, when we had the old preschool, like I said, we weren't making much money.
Yeah.
And when I looked into franchising, so we pay a 5% royalty to our franchise. So
Yeah.
that's on gross income.
Yeah.
So forever, right?
Yeah,
So we're
yeah,
paying
yeah.
5% gross income to our franchise forever.
Yeah.
But we're making way more from the business than what we are paying them.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the biggest thing was if we opened another place by ourselves,
Yeah.
are we going to be able to be as successful as partnering with a franchise that's done it and knows exactly how to do it?
Yeah.
In hindsight, there's no shot that we would have ever opened the same type of business and made nearly as much money.
So the knowledge was so
yeah,
vast.
no, it's not even close. Yeah,
Not even close. Even with her
Knowledge,
knowledge
the
as a
branding,
director, it wasn't even close as. Okay.
yeah, because like with Teresa, she's an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
That's her specialty. So
Yeah.
she's great with the kids, with parents, with how to basically lead a classroom.
Yeah.
But this is completely different. This is a business, right?
Yeah.
This is getting real estate. This is, marketing. This is construction.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So is there someone else helping her with that stuff? That's not
So in the beginning, I was helping her as much as I could with all the back end stuff. So it was
While you were still working.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
A lot of
no.
sacrifices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mainly helped with finding a location, building it. So I was the project manager for the actual construction. We looked into hiring a
PM.
general contractor. They charge, I think it was like 30% or 20%. It was something stupid. It was like
Right.
Yeah.
20% plus, just flat percentage of the total cost of the construction. And that's just to pay them to like manage the construction.
Yeah.
That's not actually paying them to do any work. So GM, they don't actually build anything.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
GM, they basically just tell people what to do and they just manage it.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I do myself. I did it myself.
So like a project manager.
Yeah, I did it myself,
You probably talk a lot to the franchise doing the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
because they tell you, what to look for,
Yeah.
but you still have to go do it.
Yeah.
So franchises don't do anything for you. They just tell you what you should do, but you are still responsible to go do it.
Right.
Do you mind me asking what was including, like paying for the initial franchise fee and construction and everything together? What do you give us a range? And this was how long ago?
So we signed our franchise agreement back in 2021, I think,
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
And then we opened our location in 2024. So just last year we opened. Took us 2 years to build the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took us.
Yeah, it's a huge place. I've seen the photos.
Yeah. It took us. Well, it's funny. It took us a year and a half.
Yeah.
No, it took us a year to get the permits.
Yeah.
It took us
Oh my gosh.
6 months to actually build it.
Yeah.
And it took us another like 6 months to get the childcare license.
So 2 years of money going out.
Yeah.
is what
Oh
you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. So we
Oh my
spent.
gosh. I thought real estate was horrible.
No, that's crazy. I'll give you the numbers. So we.
Just a range. You don't have to get
No,
specific.
I'll be specific.
Yeah.
So we spent $700,000. We borrowed. No, actually, no. We spent more than that. We borrowed $700,000.
Yeah.
We spent more than that.
You guys were working. I think you're married at this point, so whatever income you were getting, you were putting into it.
So basically, we lived off my income
Right.
for basically this entire time.
Yeah.
So we've never actually taken any money home from the business.
Yeah.
The money from the business has all gone back into it. So we've never actually seen any of it.
Yeah.
You talking about the previous one or the
The one
current?
right now.
Okay,
Yeah. So we've never seen any of the money. It's still in the business.
Yeah, because they weren't really making money
Right.
with the
previous one.
old
Yeah.
daycare. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't making much. So we borrowed $700,000.
Was that through like typical loan, like a bank loan, or
Yeah.
A
great
business
question.
loan. Yeah.
So I tried getting an SBA loan,
Yeah.
but it was the worst process
Can you
could
explain
possibly imagine.
what an SBA loan?
SBA loan
Small
is a small business
Administration.
administration loan. It's basically the government trying to give small businesses, loan them money to open a small business. That's the idea of it. In the actual practice of it, I think we wasted like 8 months trying to get it and we never got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think maybe they've locked it down more post-COVID because I remember during COVID they've given those out left and right.
Yeah, it was basically a terrible process. And so what ended up happening was we borrowed $170,000 from Teresa's parents. We borrowed $220 from my parents. And then we put in from our own money, probably like another 50 to 80, something like that.
Yeah.
And then we got 200 in a second mortgage on a house.
Yeah.
I pulled, I think it was 95% loan to
Loan to debt value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loan to,
yeah. So I took
LTV.
Yeah, I think a 95% LTV with a rocket mortgage.
Yeah.
Like 10% interest. And then I was still short.
Yeah.
So I got credit cards.
Yeah.
I got like 12, 15 credit cards at 0% interest. Because there's a bunch of credit cards that give you 0% interest
Initial offer,
for like 12, for like 1 to 2 years.
Sure.
So
I opened-
Teresa's not working at the time, just still you.
No, we just borrowing money. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is us,
I'm trying to get a vision of
this
what's
is
happening.
us borrowing money
Yeah.
to open this place.
Yeah.
Because the moment we signed the franchise agreement,
Yeah.
then we already spent $25,000 to give the franchise.
Yeah.
That's their money to basically help us get started.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
they don't make money unless we make money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? They only take money off the top if we make money.
Yeah.
So from the time that we start working with them to the time that we start making money, they don't make anything.
Yeah.
Right. So we give them upfront like $28,000.
Yeah.
And so that's basically to pay for like when we sign to when we start making money.
Did you guys didn't have kids yet or anything yet, right?
Oh yeah, we had kids.
Okay.
Yeah, we had kids.
Okay, so
yeah,
even more stressful.
That was
Okay.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marriage, wedding, kids.
So all in around there, it's
Yeah.
like roughly 1.5 mil, 1.7.
No. It was
The amount you
that
borrowed.
$700,000
Yeah.
was all that debt.
Yeah.
So it was we were in about $700,000 debt. $100,000 was credit cards. So just round up 700, whatever, right? Now, the last month that I saw on record, we made $56,000 gross. We did $35,000 in expenses, so we netted $25,000. And so we've paid off, I think, 150 grand, and we're on track to pay off the rest. We're trying to go by the end of next year. So we want to pay off all the debt by the end of next year. Then it's all gravy at that point.
Like it's saying like you netting 25 grand a month. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm not pretty sure people recognize this is 2 or 3 or 4 years of negative.
Yeah.
So let me ask a few questions, which is one, there's got to be something during this whole 2 or 3, 4 years where you're like, you question, is this the right thing that we're doing? There's got to be a moment like that. I assume it's a credit card moment.
And you gotta do like, what happens if this doesn't work?
Because the first question is this: how if you just have to guess, how many people who start a daycare, small business, how many do you think fail? Just take a lot. A lot. Same thing with restaurants, right? And so a lot. So you kind of knew that already.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And while you're in negative 100, 200, 300, 400, about 700, and then start taking out credit card loans.
Yeah.
You know, borrowing money from your parents and everything you're putting in with kids and everything. Was there a moment where you felt like, what? Maybe we made a slight mistake, and maybe you should go back to being the director of daycare. There's gotta be a moment.
Yeah.
Or this moment does not exist because it's too late because you already signed the franchise thing.
So after we signed the franchise agreement, we can still back out.
Yeah.
Like we could still lose our 28 grand, walk out, and be fresh, right?
Yeah.
But when we signed the lease for the property, that was when you're locked in. So we signed a 10-year lease for our space. No,
you're thinking it's like,
you
paying rent, like, I'm just paying you monthly. We're done. No, it's a 10-year lease.
So we signed our lease with the space in 2023.
Yeah.
And then we started paying rent in October of 2023.
Yeah.
And we didn't open the business until April of 24. So there was like,
oh my
there was
God.
like 6 months
of just
when
paying.
we're not even open.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Paying
And
rent.
we're paying, our rent is like 10 grand a month.
Jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
And then after that, when you guys got started, did you guys start hiring staff too?
we
Forced out.
no, we couldn't. We were losing money. Yeah. So to back up like 10 steps. So after we signed the lease was when we were like, oh, we have to make this work.
You have.
Like there's no choice. Like in the lease agreement, if you default on your lease, they take everything. Like they take your home, they take your car, they take everything. Because that was our personal guarantee. We had to add collateral to it.
That's his collateral.
Yeah. Because when you sign a lease
Put
for
his house on
a
the
business, you can't just sign it with nothing to back it up.
Right. Not
Right?
that long.
Like your kidney too, right?
You're like, I need my cash. That's what it was. Man, Teresa's parents co-signed on it. So they were also, they were also on the hook.
Can't fail.
See, now,
literally can't
now he's
fail.
starting to understand how I felt in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? So we had our personal guarantee, and then it still wasn't enough. The
based on the value of more.
based on how much money we made and how much we owned, they're like, you don't
much
have
assets.
enough.
You definitely don't have it. Yeah.
So then they're like, well, Teresa's parents co-signed on it.
Yeah.
And so with co-signing, if it doesn't work, then
Both screwed.
they take everything. You know, they're talking about
That's insane.
homes, cars, they take everything, right? So
you gotta be
obviously had to make it work, right? I think the worst moment, I still remember it. The worst moment is when we ran out of money. So you were in this. Do you remember this?
I do remember.
Do you remember this?
I remember now.
You like bought 20 bucks.
You tell me the story.
Yeah, do you remember when it was? It was
Unless I look back into it.
yeah, you in this.
Oh God.
I remember now.
You're part of the problem too.
I did.
Yeah, you were in this.
he
You
did.
floated me. You made us successful, man. We would not made it through.
Yeah, investment. Yeah, he's an investment.
He gets paid off. I didn't get paid.
That's true.
I got no return on that.
Okay, so here's the story. So we borrowed money from my parents.
Yeah.
That's maxed out. No shot on this planet we wanted to go back to them.
Yeah.
Because we were
And
already
this is
too
you
deep.
signed your lease already.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And then we maxed out on the house. So that's we didn't want to. We can't touch that. That's all gone.
Yeah.
We maxed out on credit cards. So we.
Oh my god.
So we, you know how I said we opened all those credit cards?
Yeah.
I maxed them all out to 100 each one. Right?
Credit score must be crap.
Yeah. Well, I didn't look at that. Yeah. So you're all maxed out. And then eventually you get to a point when they stop approving you.
Of course.
So I couldn't get any more. And so I was like, shoot, what's next?
Put a credit card on your kids, your baby.
No, right? So we were looking at what's next. And then, so we were at a point where, at that point, we were actually making money at that point.
Oh, you opened already?
Yeah, after we maxed out all the credit cards, then when they started denying me, we were open at that time.
Okay. So
But-
you felt like there's something here.
Well, we were open,
Something.
but we didn't have enough money to pay our payroll.
Yeah.
So we were short. We were short. I think 1 month we were short.
Because you had employees.
Yeah, we had employees at the time.
Okay,
Yeah, but we couldn't pay them because we didn't have enough.
Yeah.
And so I think we were at camp. We were at Winter camp. And then I forgot how the question came up.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm short.
I knew you were Sam Jung, so you can get money. He's using power, right?
But with our business, percentage of the business is government subsidized.
Yeah.
So we have kids that are under government subsidy.
Yeah.
So the government guarantees us a paycheck
Yeah.
for those kids every single month. And our guaranteed government paycheck was like 15, 20 grand a month. So we knew that was coming the 5th of every month, every single month.
Yeah.
So I knew it was coming.
Payday loan.
And then,
Basically.
so I forgot how the conversation came up. But then we're talking about it, and then I asked you, "Hey, can you float me for 1 month? Here is a I think I had like an email or something like that that showed me that I was guaranteed a certain amount at a certain time. And so you gave it to me. So he.
Do you mind me asking how much?
I wouldn't just give him a check, if I didn't see the paperwork first, how he was guaranteed.
Do you mind me asking how much you floated him?
You can tell. I don't remember.
It was like 30 grand.
Was it? I don't even remember.
No, it was 30. Yeah, I remember. I remember very easily.
20, 30, something like that.
Yeah, I remember. Are you kidding?
Took a risk. It worked.
Yeah, it was 30 grand. Yeah, but you have to remember. So the reason why I
Never asked me.
no. I would never borrow that money from a friend
Yeah.
if I knew that I couldn't pay them back
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Right? So I had the government check coming in, and I think I had one credit card left. I had one. It was a Chase Sapphire. That was the only one that we had before the business. So that was our personal credit card, and that still had a zero balance. Not anymore, but it still has a balance. So I used that and the government. I paid them back. So basically, you floated me for like a month.
Oh my god.
Basically.
That's crazy.
I mean, I know him. I know Công. I know his wife. I know his wife's parents.
Yeah.
I'll go after them.
You can't go after them because the bank already has their houses and whatever. You know?
Yeah. Well, the other thing was
Oh my! So that was the lowest. That was you felt like the lowest moment.
The
where
lowest
even though you had
moment.
some money coming in, you still had to pay your payroll, and you had to ask a fellow Wing Chun to kind of float you.
I don't think it was just me.
I asked two more.
Yeah.
I asked Anyi and I asked Unfat.
Yeah.
And they floated me too.
Nice.
But they were both. So you were the first float, and then the next month I was like, I'm not going back to him. But they were much lower balances.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
grand.
Yeah.
So but at that point we were slowly making more, so I didn't need as much.
Yeah.
I want to give a life hack to our viewers here that every time you hear the success story, like we had Toast Me restaurant, right? And now we have Daycare, and they hear the end result of it.
Yeah.
And every time, even especially people my age, like let's say I'm sitting down, you're telling me like how much money you're making at Toast Me, how much money you're making at Daycare. I can sense the people around are like, man, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of them. Like, oh man, they were so lucky. I'm so jealous. It's like, why can't my husband and why can't my wife do this? Blah, 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 all that stuff. I never am jealous of it because I have heard stories like this, especially the failure rate of this. I look at them and I say, I respect you. I respect what you did. And if given the same choice, I would never do it. And that's how I am never jealous of people like you. Because even if I went back in time, I would never do it. Never do it. Because it takes a very specific kind of personality. I know who I am. I cannot do that. Because that is such, just listening to the craziness of this story of this.
Right? You're willing to risk it, you know?
Yeah, you're willing to
put
risk
that
it.
amount of risk in.
And then that's another reason why I'm not jealous, because they are willing to take that huge risk. For every success story, story of Toast Me and whatever Daycare, there's 50,000 people who have failed. And I am not willing to take that risk, so I can never be jealous of that. So I just want to give our viewers, you should be proud and you should be like, look up to them, but you should never show any jealousy because you would never do it. And they took a risk that you never could take. Right. And they're living a life of, I'll be honestly, in those years that you're talking about, those are constant 2 or 3, same thing with me too, right? Like he lived years of constant stress, of huge amount of debt into this. You should never be jealous of those people. You know, you should learn from them for sure. As mentors, but like you should never be jealous of them.
See, like I have a 9-to-5 job. I'm not jealous. I'm stress free.
No, I didn't even add the fact we were working at the business, open to close, so 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week, and working Sundays for parties, so 4 hours.
Were you
a week.
still?
Yes, I have a day job. You still have a day job. That's a day job. No, this was. I actually got fired from the city. Yeah, I got fired from the city because I was doing both. And then I had to get another one.
So you had a day job and a daycare job. Okay.
Yeah. I ended up getting fired from the city because I was spending too much time in the business. Then I had to get another one after that. But
that's ridiculous.
But yeah, we're working open to close 6 days a week, parties 4 hours on Sunday. For like a year and a half.
Jeez.
For like at least a year, right? Because the problem was we're free.
Yeah.
The moment I hire someone to work at a business that has no kids, we had no kids for like 5 months. Right? Because when you open, like they don't just walk in. Right?
People just don't drop their kids in.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I trust you. Right?
So when we started, we couldn't pay staff because we were losing like 10, 15 grand a month. Right?
On the rent and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So like we can't afford it to pay anybody. So it was just us. Man, those are hard. I remember those days.
So normally when I ask this question, which is, hey, if someone wants to do the crazy thing that you just did, what do you recommend? And the normal answer for them is this. The normal answer that people would give to that question is, go work at a nurse, you know, like a daycare. Work up to level and see what it's like first. Talk to the person that owns it before you start one. The funny thing is, you guys literally did work. She did work at daycare. And even though she did, still the ridiculousness that you went through, you still had to go through it. So even if you have some experience, more than most, because a lot of people go into it blindly, you even had good experience, you know?
We could have done it the safe way, which was
stay on your W-2. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. The way that most people do businesses is they save up the money themselves and then they open it with no debt, or like less debt, right?
He's gonna save $700.
But the problem with that is it takes longer, right? If I had done that, then we still wouldn't have enough money. Like we wouldn't have been able to start, you know, into our 40s, which is most people. I'm 31.
Yeah.
Most 31-year-olds do not own a
Yeah, yeah.
700 grand a year gross business.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Because most 31-year-old won't go through what you're
doing that.
going
700 grand
through.
debt, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a very huge outlier when it comes to this.
I mean-
So what do you recommend? You recommend that people, if they want to, let's just say I'm freshly new, again, Huỳnh Trường, or anyone, 20, 21, 22-year-old teacher, and I want to start a daycare. What's the first thing you recommend they do?
Actually, I think it's much more financially viable to buy a business.
Buy an existing one.
Yeah, buy an existing business because it's so much cheaper. So
okay,
the Linwood, so there's two Kids Park, a franchise called Kids Park.
Okay.
There's two Kids Park franchises in the state.
Yeah.
There's us, and there's another one in Linwood. Linwood has been open since 2018. They used to gross over $1 million a year, and now they're selling for 275 grand. Yeah.
Why?
Because the last 3 years, they've only had a net profit of 230 grand. I net more than them,
Right.
even though I gross less. Because we have most of it is because me and Teresa, because we work there still, so
Yeah.
we don't have to pay ourselves. But the reason why they're selling at that cost, because that's how much. So when you buy a business, you usually buy it based off of their profits.
Yeah.
And you buy it on average around 3 years of profits.
Yeah.
So their 3 years of profits is 275.
Yeah.
I spent 700 to open mine. I could buy theirs for 275.
Right.
Already has staff. Already has kids.
That's probably the reason why they're not doing so well, though, right?
The owner moved to Arizona 3 years ago
Yeah.
and completely walked away from the business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they used to gross over $1 million.
Yeah.
Now they only gross like 700
Okay.
grand.
Yeah.
So it's like if our business, Teresa and I, walked away clean for like 3 years,
Yeah.
and the people working there don't have the power
Or the
to-
passion.
Yeah.
And the quality was there.
and they're being paid an hourly rate. They don't have a percentage of the profits.
Yeah.
They're not owners. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
obviously, why would they put more into it when they
course,
don't need to,
yeah.
right?
But you recommend looking to a daycare. And
Yeah, it's much more financially. It's cheaper. It's much cheaper
Yeah.
to buy an existing business than to open one fresh. I don't recommend doing it in debt.
Of course.
I think what it is, I think the reason why we felt so secure in the business was we knew that it was guaranteed money, and we knew that we didn't have a lot of competition. So another thing I didn't add was the childcare is $12 an hour, and you only pay for the minutes that you use each day. Most daycares, you pay tuition each month,
Gotcha.
and you have to pay every single month, whether or not they're open and whether or not your kids are there.
Right.
Yeah.
So our model is completely different, and no one does it. So we're competing against, high school babysitters.
Right.
Yeah. $12,000 is ridiculous.
Yeah, so we're like half the cost of like a nanny. A nanny itself is like $30, right?
Yeah. What's the age? What's the youngest age or oldest age you take?
So we take 2.5 to 9.
Okay. So I can send both
Small
my kids.
range.
Yeah. What's
Well, how many kids do you guys have there right now?
We
On average, I guess.
average in the summer, I think we average around 30 to 40 kids at once.
Oh, wow.
I think for the whole day, it's like 40 plus, 40, 50 plus for the whole day. And then when the school year hits, all the school ages go back to school.
Yeah.
So we drop pretty drastically.
Yeah.
Then we're in the
Breaks. and stuff.
20 to 30 range of amount of kids during the day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But we also drop in staff.
Yeah.
So it all kind of works out. With our business, we staff the center
Yeah.
based on need.
Yeah.
So if we have a lot of kids, we get a lot of teachers. If we have not that many kids, then we have less teachers.
So you have to book ahead of time then.
No, it's dropping. So
How do you know the need?
we basically have to be on call all the time,
Okay.
right? So Teresa and I are not on the schedule. So we're not scheduled staff.
As
I
backup
see.
kind of
We're
thing.
backup.
Gotcha.
That gives us a 20 child buffer
Gotcha.
because each teacher is allowed to watch 10 kids.
Yeah.
So if we average 15 kids, we don't expect to go to 50,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So a 20 child buffer is enough to
Gotcha.
still work out. If it wasn't Teresa and I,
Mm-hmm.
then Linwood doesn't have an on-site owner for
Right.
buffer.
Yeah.
So their payroll is 3 times our payroll.
Yeah.
And when they get full, they deny kids
Yeah.
because you have to. You can't
Can't
have
take it more than you have.
So they actually consistently turn kids away.
Yeah.
That's potential income that they're
Right.
losing.
Very
So,
interesting. You almost made me want to just go buy the Linwood one.
Right.
I know.
I was like, no.
Put it in Tacoma.
No.
So right now we're talking with one of our teachers to see if she's interested in buying it.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity, like financially wise, but lifestyle wise,
Yeah.
I mean, I told her, I was like, you have to be there,
You have to be there.
open to close for at least 3 to 6 months,
Yeah.
just to make sure the business is running the way you want it to,
Yeah.
right?
And people at my age, I mean, I thought about it for like a brief second, but 100% back off right away because
Right.
I want to get to the point. I'm slowly wanting to transition to more time with the kids, right? And this is going to be even less
That's time
time.
consuming, yeah, for sure.
Less time with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely very tempting.
Yeah.
Not jealous at all of your life, to be honest with you. That's crazy. That is a ridiculous story that you told. I honestly don't know. I kind of understand why you do it now. It's just that drive that you have in there. So where do you want to go from here? Like, what is your
More franchise?
more franchise? You want to get to the point where you don't have to be around at all? Is that your final goal, or do you want to keep? Are you in the growth phase right now?
So we're in such a different place than when we were when we opened.
Yeah.
We're, putting down 20 to 25 grand a month on our debt payments.
Yeah.
So that's slowly going down. And then, so the biggest thing is like time, right?
Yeah.
So what we knew from an early stage was that if we just sacrificed
Yeah.
our butts off
Yeah.
for like many years, right?
5 to 10 years.
Yeah, many years. Then at the
long-term
end
payoff.
of it, things are going to be so much better. So now we've gotten to the point where Teresa is no longer required to be on the schedule.
Yeah.
I'm no longer required to be on the schedule. We still come in, but we don't need to.
Yeah.
And then, so now in terms of like time with kids, it's like 10x was before. Like before, she's working 40 hours a
Right.
week. Now
Yeah.
she's basically working from home
Right.
whenever she wants,
Yeah.
So in terms of if you want to have the most time with your kids
Yeah.
for their entirety of their lives, then a business owner will always trump working a W-2
Yeah.
in the long run,
Yeah.
right? If you do it correctly,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So my parents are technically business owners, just like every other Asians out there.
Yep.
But they never had staff,
Right.
Yeah.
so they worked for themselves for like 50 years.
Yeah.
So for most businesses, most self-employed people, when they don't work, they don't make money. That's not a business owner. That's just you working for yourself. But you want to get to the point where the business can run by itself and still make money,
Yeah.
right? So Teresa and I went to Cancun for like a week.
Yeah.
We were gone for like a week,
Yeah.
and it was still making like $1,500 a day
Yeah.
when we weren't there, right? So that's the life,
Yeah.
right? That's the life when you can
True passive
not
income.
be there and make money.
Yeah.
you
So
know?
you're there already, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would say in terms of time,
Yeah.
we're there. Now we just gotta get to the money. See, like I said, we haven't taken anything out. We could,
Yeah.
right? We made the choice from the very beginning to not take any money out of the business until it's paid off. I don't have to do that, right? I could take half of it home and half of it goes to debt.
And lifestyle inflation happens.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, I want to get rid of it as fast as possible.
The debt.
Yeah, not just because of the interest, but also just for like the weight of it.
Yeah,
Piece of
You know,
mind.
the piece. Yeah. It's,
And pay off your
like,
parents
yeah.
and
Pay off your
everything
parents.
like that.
Nice.
Because once you're debt free on that.
Oh, then it's all gravy, right? Then we're talking, you know, 25, 30 grand a month from the business.
Yeah.
I take home 10 grand a month at my day job.
Yeah.
I still have a day job.
Keep it for now.
My day job,
Yeah.
My day job as an engineer salesman, I make 135 grand
Yeah.
salary
Sure.
yearly.
Yeah.
It's about 10 grand a month take home on that. And then Teresa has a home care aid for her grandma. She takes home like 2,500 a month on that.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting.
Yeah. Till the day comes.
I think I
Yeah.
see a lot of people who went hardcore in the beginning. That at one point, especially once they have, like, they'll go hardcore while they have maybe small kids, and then they'll go hardcore definitely before they had kids. Normally they get married, they go hardcore, and something trigger them to go really hardcore. That your mentality that trigger them, either Dave Ramsey or anything else, or Rich Dad Poor Dad, triggers them to go really hardcore. But once they get to the little kid stage, they know that, hey, I don't have to go hardcore anymore. I can, but if I keep going hardcore, the only thing I gain from it is making more money, right? So they cut off the hardcore and say, I don't need to make more money. I need time. And they start thinking, the main reason why I'm doing this in the first place is to have more time and freedom. So that with my kids, right? And I noticed that pattern a little bit with me, and a little bit with, you know, Toast Me and Yeet too, is that they want to get to a point where they have more freedom with the time with their kids, right? And people don't understand how a big deal that is, that you want to work hardcore in the beginning so that you have freedom to pick what you want to do later in life. It's not work hardcore in the beginning to make tons of money later on. It's more so hardcore in the beginning so that money allows you to decide, right? You might decide to keep going hardcore. You might decide to go back to W-2, but the point is you decide and not the money decide, right? Yeah, so that to me is like the biggest thing, because I think people, when they're younger, they're like, I don't need to make more money. Why do I need to go hardcore now? You know, I'm gonna live life is, I'm gonna stay in my W-2 forever and live the life that I'm living right now for the rest of my life, and I'll love it. Likely you will, or like you're not, it doesn't matter. The point is, you might change your mind in the future. And in the future, when you change your mind, you're not gonna be able, you don't have the financial stability to change your mind, right? So we could work W-2s forever, but later on, when you change your mind about your W-2, you're not gonna be able to do it because you'll have so much expenses. So if you just sacrifice in the beginning, then you are able to have that freedom to make choice later on, which is a big thing that a lot of us don't have. And I'm so glad that you took the risk, and I'm so glad that you took all that risk, and you're getting to that point where you're like finding freedom of time, which is like the biggest thing. So I have
There were
to
definitely a
applaud
lot
you
of
for that.
milestones. I think one of the milestones, like there's so many different milestones that we hit when we started like feeling like things were getting better. When we broke even on the business, so we were not
Big one.
losing money, we were not losing money every month. That was a big milestone.
Next one is going to Trader Joe's.
That's the next month, right?
Yeah. So, you know, you asked me like growth, right? 5 years, right? So when Linwood decided that they were going to sell, we were the first person they called. So they called us and they're like, hey, are you interested in buying? And we're like,
Tempting.
yeah, I was like 25 grand a month profit. I could double that.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
It was very tempting, right?
Money,
Technically,
money.
the business is still there, so it's still an option.
Yeah.
But we decided, it's funny because I told her, hey, you're already doing a lot. I don't think you're able to take on a second location where you're at right now because you're so busy.
Yeah.
And then she said the exact same words to me.
Yeah.
Because she said, I don't think you can run that location where you're at right now with what you have.
We guys
going
both
on.
decided.
So we both decided that because we both thought we could do it.
Yeah.
I was like, I could do it. And then she was like, I could do it. And then we both told each other we can't do it. So it kind
Outsider's
of
perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was like, oh yeah, it's only like 10 hours a week. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And then she was like, you have to quit your other job. And I'm like, I guess I do. And so, yeah, we both decided that it just wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
We, long term, we pretty sure we want to open more locations,
Yeah.
but closer.
Yeah.
So Linwood is like an hour
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
away from us, right? And
So
we're
Tacoma.
actually Tacoma we actually would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tacoma
Nice.
we would open anything from Tacoma all the way up to like Seattle or Bellevue. Yeah, but like the middle of Seattle.
Yeah,
When we
not
get
like-
past
not like
that,
North
yeah,
Dakota, anything.
anything. I would say anything within a half-hour drive.
Yeah.
Because the way that we run the business, we would want to be involved in it for the first year until it got to the point where we could hire a director and give them a percentage of the profit.
Yeah.
So we want to do profit sharing for every location we own.
Yeah.
So right now we're building up our staff, and eventually when we do walk away, which we eventually will walk away from it, we would want the new director for the business to get a percentage of the profit because they care more about it,
Yeah.
right? And they deserve to get paid
they're
more
doing the
because
work.
it's doing better, right?
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
This has been a wild story. I feel like we can talk another 2 hours, but we can't. But I love the transition. If you guys listen to this whole thing, you can see the transition of what a small business owner has to do, the sacrifice, and then you'll probably start understanding the sacrifice that you have to make to gain that freedom at the end. And listen to it and figure it out for yourself if you are willing to take that sacrifice. And good luck if you do. So I really appreciate you stopping by. Công, do you have anything final to say to a huynh trưởng if a guest or or listeners?
I think ultimately, business and entrepreneurship is a very underrated and not well-known thing. I actually think more people should go into business and franchising and entrepreneurship. They just don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And figuring it out is the hardest part.
Yeah.
But what I tell people is if you want to make the most amount of money possible, it's not a doctor, it's not a lawyer, it's not an engineer. It's a business owner.
Yeah.
Right? Lawyers, doctors, engineers, they max out 500 grand, right? Business, there's no limit.
Yeah.
There's physically no limit on how much money you can make, right?
Yeah.
Because you could open 100 restaurants, you could open 100 daycares, you could open 100 McDonald's, whatever. Like, there's no limit to how much you can make.
Yeah.
It's just how much time you want to put into it, right? It's just how much you want to put into it.
You gotta make
But
sure
there's no
you
limit.
know what you're sacrificing and that your partner in life,
Is
wife or
okay with
husband,
it too.
is okay with that for
That's
sure.
the big thing, having the support.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your story. I'm sure your kid's calling for you. We've been hearing the kid in the background.